Imagine trusting a friend with your life, only to find she might be plotting your death. What drove Sararat Rangsiwuthaporn to allegedly poison 14 people and become known as the worst female serial killer in Thailand's history? The unsettling pattern of death surrounding Sararat Rangsiwuthaporn, who would later be known as AM Cyanide, began to emerge subtly before escalating into a full-blown investigation. It started in 2015 with the death of Montateep Cowan, a friend of Sararat's who had recently returned from abroad and died suddenly of heart failure soon after being picked up at the airport by Sararat. Fast forward to 2020, when the deaths became too frequent and patterns too coincidental to overlook. On August 22, 2020, a local teacher in Nakhon Pathom died shortly after lending Sararat 300,000 baht. Her sudden death from supposed natural causes started to raise eyebrows among those who knew Sararat. The situation escalated on November 25, 2020, when another acquaintance, Sawitri Butersirirak, died in Bueng Khan after reportedly receiving a suspicious package of diet pills from Sararat. Sawitri's husband, a local police officer, later reported that his wife had lent Sararat over 100,000 baht shortly before her untimely death. By early 2023, more cases surfaced. On April 1st, Police Lieutenant Colonel Nipa Sayanchan from Nakhon Pathom died of what initially appeared to be natural causes after reportedly having dinner and praying at a local temple with Sararat, where she allegedly lent Sararat 50,000 baht. This was quickly followed by the death of 32-year-old Siriporn Kanhawang on April 14, 2023, who collapsed and died by the Mekong River shortly after a merit-making ceremony with Sararat, involving a transaction of about 40,000 baht. The accumulation of these incidents, characterized by the involvement of financial dealings with Sararat followed by sudden and unexplained deaths, ultimately compelled the authorities to initiate a thorough investigation into what would become one of the worst cases in Thai criminal history. The investigators embarked on a detailed forensic analysis of each incident associated with Sararat. Lab tests revealed a chilling commonality: traces of cyanide, a potent and rapid-acting poison. This discovery was a critical piece of evidence that linked the otherwise unexplained deaths directly to Sararat. The investigative team delved deeper, scrutinizing Sararat's financial transactions and communications. AM Cyanide turned out to be a heavy gambler who got into the habit of losing huge sums of money. They uncovered a pattern of her borrowing money or receiving valuable items from her victims shortly before their deaths. Analysis of bank records and text messages painted a picture of premeditated actions leading up to each incident. Moreover, surveillance footage from various locations provided undeniable visual evidence of Sararat's last moments with several victims. One of the most damning pieces of evidence came from CCTV footage at the Mekong River on the day Siriporn Kanhawang died. The footage captured Sararat and Siriporn together, moments before Siriporn's sudden collapse, a direct contradiction to Sararat's claims of absence. This visual evidence, combined with the forensic data, allowed the police to piece together a timeline of Sararat's movements and interactions with the victims. The accumulation of evidence led to Sararat's arrest on April 25, 2023, when they found a bottle of cyanide at her house. Delving into the life of AM Cyanide provides crucial insights into the psychological and social dynamics that may have fueled her alleged criminal activities. Born around 1987, Sararat's early life appeared unremarkable to those around her. Friends and acquaintances described her as friendly and sociable, often seen as a trustworthy and supportive figure in her community. From 2012 to 2022, she worked as a representative for 3 leading insurance companies in Thailand. She was married to police officer Withun Rangsiwuthaporn and had 2 children. They lived in an apartment provided by the police department, surrounded by other officers. In 2022, the couple separated. By the end of 2022, she started a relationship with 35-year-old Suthisak Punkwan, but on March 12, 2023, he passed away from unknown circumstances. AM Cyanide's method of operation reveals a calculated approach to selecting and exploiting her victims, typically using her personal relationships and their occupations to facilitate financial transactions that would culminate in their deaths. Sararat's victims varied widely, from close friends and lovers to acquaintances such as teachers, police officers, and their family members. They often had access to savings or could secure loans, making them attractive targets. Most of these victims got in contact with her through various pyramid schemes that usually promised unrealistic returns on investment. Sararat typically approached her victims under the guise of needing financial help due to personal emergencies, leveraging her perceived trustworthiness to elicit sympathy and financial assistance. She often promised quick repayment to assure her victims of her integrity. The amounts she requested varied but were substantial enough to significantly impact her victims' finances. For instance, she borrowed 300,000 baht from Nitya Kyobupa, claiming she needed urgent funds for a family emergency. In another case, Sararat borrowed over 100,000 baht from Sawitri Butrasirirak, offering a vague promise of investment returns. Following the financial transactions, Sararat's method involved creating scenarios where she could administer cyanide without arousing immediate suspicion. This often occurred in social settings, or during activities like eating out or attending religious ceremonies where food or drink could be easily tampered with. Sararat's ability to build and maintain trust was central to her modus operandi. She cultivated a persona of reliability, which disarmed her victims and reduced their likelihood of suspecting her motives. Each successful poisoning might have emboldened her further, leading to a reckless disregard for human life. This cycle of manipulation and murder underscores a deeply ingrained pathological element in her psyche, making her one of Thailand's most chilling figures in recent criminal history. The police wrapped up their investigation after questioning over 900 witnesses and examining 26,500 documents. The primary motive behind these alleged murders was financial gain, often to clear debts Sararat owed to her victims. AM Cyanide faces more than 75 charges, including premeditated murder, attempted murder, theft causing death, and forgery. The charges relate to a series of alleged poisonings that resulted in the deaths of 14 people and left one survivor, spanning several years and multiple provinces in Thailand. Sararat's ex-husband, Police Lieutenant Colonel Witun Rangsiwutaporn, is also accused of assisting Sararat by picking her up following the purported murder of her then-boyfriend. Furthermore, her attorney, Tanisha Eksawanawat, faces accusations of aiding Sararat in either destroying or hiding evidence relevant to the case. The case of AM Cyanide has challenged the existing legal frameworks and prompted discussions on enhancing judicial processes to better handle cases involving complex forensic evidence and serial crimes. One of the primary concerns raised is the need for a more robust coroner system, similar to those in Western countries, where an official independent of the police conducts autopsies and plays a critical role in the investigation of suspicious deaths. The absence of such a system in Thailand has mostly led to a delay in catching AM Cyanide. Her trial hasn't yet started as of today. She faces the death penalty if convicted of these crimes.